Do you have to have a revolutionary app idea in order to successfully launch and scale your no-code app-based business? That's what we're going to talk about today. The reality is a lot of people think that they need a disruptive app idea in order to really see a lot of growth and success, but that's not always the case. And you can scale your app and your business in a disrupted market without being the actual disruptor. Now, make sure you stick around until the end of this video because we're going to talk about how. Now, first, if you're new around here, my name is Kristen, and I'm the co-founder of Coaching No-Code Apps, where we help business owners and industry experts build custom apps to start their app-based businesses or grow their existing businesses, all without coding and with no technical background required. You can join a free workshop at coachingnocodeapps.com/workshop. So the question is, does your app idea really have to be that revolutionary or that disruptive in order for you to truly scale your app and your business and ideally your lifestyle? And the answer is just no, just flat out no. But we're going to talk about why. And what I want to do is share my screen so that we can jump over to the iPad here and talk through some of this. All right, so a lot of people think that you need to be the disruptor itself in order to grow to that really high valuation potentially, or build your app up to high annual recurring revenue, that kind of thing. And it can benefit you to have a disruptive app idea. Now, a disruptor, to be clear, or a disruptive business model app idea is something that takes the current way that something is done and just completely changes it and helps that new way become more of the norm. So, for example, look at companies like Amazon. Amazon took shopping and completely disrupted the market, starting with the way you buy books. And now, that's bled into the way you even buy your groceries, right? An entire market, an entire way that people live their day-to-day lives has been disrupted. Think about things like Netflix or Hulu or even Redbox, right? Back in the olden days, you used to go to a store and rent movies. And today you no longer do that because that market has been completely disrupted. So when you're looking at ideas like this, you don't have to be the Netflix. You don't have to be the Amazon. You can be one of the many, many other ideas and businesses that scales within those disrupted markets. So we're going to look on the screen here at this middle circle as being the disruptor. Okay, so again, think about Amazon, right? Amazon has disrupted a market. Well, you can have a bunch of other ideas, businesses, business models, whatever it may be, that scale alongside the disruptor, right? They're not competing directly with that initial disruptor. They are just maybe offering a similar solution, but for a different segment of the market. Maybe they combine well with that initial solution. And so they help, they help kind of disrupt the processes even further, right? More extensively. Maybe they provide services that go along with the disruptor. Okay, so you don't have to be that big revolutionary business or idea in order to really scale in a market. And that's okay, right? That's not a bad thing. That's the way things work. So if you look at, for example, let's talk about no code, right? So with no code apps, no code, so let me switch over here. No code in and of itself, no code tools have disrupted a market, really, a way processes are done, right? We are taking traditional coding and now we are visually programming, right? So it enables applications to be built, processes to be created without actually having to code. And no code is it's growing a ton. And there are lots of other businesses that are in the no code space that didn't actually disrupt this market or didn't actually instigate this change in the way applications are built, right? So let's look at Bubble, for example. So let's say Bubble is over here. Did Bubble create no code? No, they didn't, but they've created a product that appeals to a certain segment of the no code market, of people wanting to build no code applications, right? Bubble is right in there. Tools like Zapier are in there too. Zapier and Bubble are different. They're both related to no code. Neither of them started this shift in no code. They're just a part of this changing and growing market, right? You also have different services. I mean, look at our own business. We certainly didn't create no code, but we're in here helping you leverage no code tools to their fullest extent to create your business, right? You can look at complementary apps that maybe go along with Bubble, for example, right? So you can start to see that you don't have to have that revolutionary once in a lifetime idea in order to really successfully impact the market, impact your users, and grow your business, okay? You can, to be clear, you can be the disruptor. But I think it puts a lot of pressure on people thinking that they have to have this revolutionary, never before seen idea in order to successfully launch their apps. I see people saying it all the time. You know, maybe they don't want to share what their idea is because they think it is this disruptive idea. Maybe, you know, they're afraid to put their idea out there because it's not disruptive enough. And all of these are signs of people feeling like, you know, they can't grow in a market that kind of already exists, right? But you definitely can, and that pressure doesn't have to be there. And in fact, there are a number of benefits from growing in a market that has already been disrupted, okay, without actually being that disruptor. You know, for example, your target market is pretty easily defined. It's already there. The only thing that you really have to do is create or define rather your segment of the market, right? So when you are scaling your app and your business in a disrupted market, find your own segment. The market is there. That's straightforward. Just identify your particular segment because that's going to help you grow so much more easily because you actually know who your app is for, and they also know it's for them, which is very important. You know, you already have, when you're in this position, you already have a lot of validation starting out because the market exists. Okay, now some of these things might seem pretty straightforward or kind of common sense, but what I've found is that a lot of entrepreneurs, they think that they have to, or rather they have an idea that they need to teach their prospective users about. They need to teach their target market what the problem even is in the first place and what solution they even need, right? So their market might not actually know that they have a problem, which is a guaranteed sign that they don't know they need your app, right? And I understand that. I totally understand that. But when you're planning to grow within a market that, again, has kind of already been disrupted and it's already growing, well, that market exists, right? The target market, they already know there's a problem. Now you just need to figure out what part of the problem you're going to solve or how you're going to solve the problem a little bit better or a little bit differently, maybe in a more convenient way, right? So the market already exists, and that's a really big benefit that you can leverage. And then, of course, as I kind of alluded to in the last point, a pre-educated market means that they understand the problem. Okay, so they understand the problem. And this is really big because you can teach people about a problem that they have that they don't necessarily know they have. For example, back when we went to rent movies at stores and we didn't even know that another way was possible, we didn't know we had a problem because we didn't know it could be easier, right? And so when you're disrupting a market like that, you really have to show that there is a problem in the first place. Okay, but when you are scaling in a market that has already been changed and that is already on the rise, your target market understands the problem. So you can completely remove that component from your processes, right? Educating about the problem. It's already there. It makes your job so much easier because now you can talk about instead the outcomes, the solution, right? Your app. And that's a really big advantage, again, that you can also leverage. So you can have that revolutionary idea. You can be that disruptor, right? But you don't have to be. And that's what I want to convey here today, because you don't need to put that pressure on yourself. You don't need to stay, holed up in your office for the next year trying to come up with this one kind of like grand slam idea. You just don't need to do that, right? Instead of saying, how can I come up with this big revolutionary idea, just ask yourself, how can I add value, right? How can I add value? That's one of the most important questions you can answer. If you can answer how you're going to add value within a market, then you can find success, okay? Adding value will lead to success. So I hope this is helpful for you. If anything else, in just helping you reframe the way you're looking at your app idea, take advantage of the markets and the problems that are already there. Take advantage of the validation that already exists, because it's only going to help you move more quickly. All right, again, I hope that's helpful. And if you want to dive way deeper with your app, you can join in on our free workshop at coachingnocodeapps.com/workshop. We'll talk through some strategy for pulling your app idea out of your head and correctly building it, testing it, launching it in phases. We'll talk about some no-code tools and just really how you can best leverage them for your business. So head to coachingnocodeapps.com/workshop. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.